Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danon, will deliver a brief statement ahead of this morning's Security Council session. He'll take your questions afterwards. If you are asked for a question, please remember to state your name and your news outlet. Thank you.
Good morning. For over a year, we have exposed UNRWA Gaza as a terrorist front posing as a humanitarian agency. The scandals tied to UNRWA Gaza are staggering, almost countless. Months ago, we revealed that over 100 UNRWA employees were Hamas operatives, providing their names and Hamas IDs to the UN. Yet, no action was taken. More recently, we exposed an UNRWA clinic in Gaza which was being used as a weapons depot and launch site. At the same time, the head of UNRWA's teachers' union in Lebanon was also a Hamas commander. Today, I will bring news to the Security Council, and we will share the story of Muhammad Abu-Ittawi, an UNRWA employee since July 2022, who also served as a commander in Hamas's brutal Nukba forces. He himself personally participated and murdered, raped, and abducted Israelis. While Muhammad Abu-Ittawi was collecting UN-funded paychecks, he was murdering and kidnapping Israeli civilians. Following his elimination, UN officials had the audacity to mourn him. The Secretary-General himself, Antonio Guterres, expressed outrage at the death of this terrorist, a man responsible for some of the most savage attacks on innocent civilians in modern history. My colleagues, it is legitimate to criticize Israel, to debate the subjects, but it is entirely illegitimate to ignore, dismiss, or blind oneself to what stands so plainly before us. It is neither illegitimate nor moral to disregard the undeniable fact that UNRWA Gaza has become a front for Hamas. And yet, that is precisely what the Secretary General is doing. Look at this picture. You can see Faisal Ali, Musalam, and Naami in the black shirt. Here he is seen loading the lifeless body of Jonathan Samerno into his car, a grotesque trophy bound for Gaza after his terrorist comrades murdered Jonathan at Kibbutz Be'eri. There's also a video that you can find online of this incident. Looking at this horrific image, one must ask, how does kidnapping and killing civilians fit into an UNRWA employee's job description? Where in UNRWA's mandate is this justified? You're going to hear a lot from council members about UNRWA in a few minutes. I'm going to ask them, are they aware of what the money they are donating to UNRWA is being used for? There is no longer any plausible deniability regarding UNRWA's infiltration by terrorists. Nor are there any excuses left. These vile scandals cannot be swept under the rug any longer. This Council, the international community, and the entire UN must confront the facts that UNRWA Gaza is beyond redemption, beyond reform, beyond any justification. We must turn the page now. Thank you.
Ambassador, the SG said in a statement yesterday, late night, that the implementation of these laws would be detrimental for the resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Do you agree with that? What's your reaction to this?
Absolutely not. We will continue to work with the UN. We will continue to work with UN organs who are focused on humanitarian assistance to the Palestinians, but not in terrorism. We are proving that that's pure terrorism. You have WHO, UNICEF, World Food Programme, dozens of NGOs that operate today in Gaza. We will continue to work with them, but we will not continue to work with UNRWA after what we just exposed.
But why didn't you give any proof of your allegations when UNRWA and the UN asked for these evidence last June?
We submitted the names of people that we know. It's not that we think, that we know that are terrorists. We haven't got any answers. And usually what UNRWA will tell us that they don't have the capabilities to investigate, to police, and that they work under dire situation inside Gaza. But that's, excuse me, let me answer your question. But that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable that you had UNRWA employees that took part in October 7th. This picture was taken inside Israel, in Kibbutz Be'eri.
Not enough evidence. You didn't give any evidence to the OIOS.
We
We're not talking about UNRWA.
we provided a list of UNRWA employees who were at the same time collecting paychecks from the UN and working for Hamas. Yeah, they had a day job with Hamas, and at night they worked for UNRWA. That was unacceptable. Yes, please.
Mr. Ambassador, this is Miriam Ramadi with Iran International. As you said, President Biden emphasized that these laws are going to worsen the humanitarian situation in Gaza. What will Israel's response would be to United States regarding these laws?
First of all, we respect the United States and we collaborate with the United States. But I would point out to the fact that the Congress itself here in the United States decided last September to stop funding for UNRWA. The US was the biggest donor to UNRWA. They gave approximately $300 million a year to UNRWA. And still the Congress voted and decided to stop funding at least until 2025. So I think the congressmen who saw the evidence we shared here and other materials were knowledgeable enough to take that action. And I think that if someone wants to support humanitarian efforts in Gaza, he should do it, but he can do it with other organs, not with UNRWA. That will be our recommendation. Thank you very much.
What kind of organization would you suggest?
So I listed them. WHO, UNICEF, World Food Program. There are dozens of NGOs today that operate in Gaza, and we will continue to collaborate with them. Thank you very much.